Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this gray Thursday morning?
Pretty
All
good.
right. Got a little light coming through my window.
Yes.
I see that. It's nice. It's very nice. I want to welcome everyone to actually our last 10 minutes with 52 for the time being. We're going to take a little break in July. My name is Elaine Shea. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at 52 Limited, which is a creative and tech staffing agency. We have been promoting organizations that are adjacent to our wheelhouses, which are creative and tech. And allowing people to learn more about organizations that exist within the Portland area so that they can broaden their horizons, they can find new connections, they can potentially pivot careers, they can meet new people. And in this time and space, I think it's really important to build that community, whomever your community is. And today we have the Project Management Institute of Portland joining us to talk about their organization, their members, and how people can get involved. We have Sandra Cayley, our VP of Membership, and Kelly Duran, who is the VP of Marketing. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. Kelly, I think you're going to go ahead and get started and share a little bit more about you and your journey.
Sure. As Elaine said, I am the current Vice President of Marketing for PMI Portland, and I have been in and out of the job market in the last few years, and I think that my story about how I came to PMI might resonate with some folks, so we'll start off with sharing that little bit. The last couple of years have been kind of turbulent for me after pretty much working full-time in some professional capacity for many years. I found myself laid off, and it may be where a lot of folks that are watching or your 52 Limited clients are in right now is, where am I? What do I do now? Or it could be that we've got folks that are watching this that are just looking at potential transition. This could be a good time for them to do transition. It seemed at first like for the first time in many years, I had to figure out what it is I wanted to do. What did I do for so many years? I was in education, but not on the teacher side. So I had to think, what was it I was doing? And I was a little bit paralyzed with what is this about? So I know your job seekers often hear about network. I didn't have that. I kept my head down, did my work very diligently, didn't take the time to look up and make enough eye contact for real authentic relationships. So that's one point of advice I'd give to folks is to, they always used to say, take time to smell the roses. Well, take time to raise your head, make some relationship with folks, and really build your network while you have the opportunity to do so. Now, if you're in my place where I was, I had to start building my network from there. And I didn't know, again, what to do. I had to also figure out where my affinity areas were. I'd worked in education. Prior to that, I'd worked in communications and marketing and utilities and finance. I was all over the place. So how do you narrow the scope down to get your arms around what jobs you really wanted to do and what you were qualified to do? So I had to spend some time figuring out what the role was and detangle the actual work I did with the actual kinds of skills I was doing. So that was kind of my first piece, was figuring out a network that I wanted to connect with, and then figuring out how do I translate my roles. I did an inventory, and as it happened, it was recommended by a friend to take a course at Portland State University's Center for Executive and Professional Education, and it was on project management. And I went, not quite knowing what I was gonna in for, and the light bulbs went off as soon as I took that class. Of, wait a minute, I'm a project manager. That's what I've been doing. And I think a lot of folks might be able to relate to not quite knowing how to put a title on their what they've been doing. And this, in my case, was great. I immediately jumped into all kinds of learning that I could do to really get my arms around the formal project management piece. And I tried to find locations where I find folks doing project management. And that's how I found PMI Portland. I joined 2018, and within a couple weeks, I was writing for their newsletter. I very firmly believe that volunteering is a great way to open doors and to meet lots of people. So I was doing writing for their newsletter, then I was editing the newsletter, and within a year, I was in this current role that I'm in right now as VP on the board. And it has been, I can't even begin to say how rich the experience has been. I have had the opportunity to meet so many people. I now can articulate the work that I do, that I can do, what my skill sets are, where I want to go. And that comes from being involved with Project Management Institute in terms of all of the volunteer work that I've done. But also they have, and Sandra's going to pivot over to that shortly, but they have lots of things. So my main advice to folks really is keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your eyes on others to see what's going on, and really jump in with full gusto. Whatever it is you're going to do, I think project management is a great all-around job that pretty much every industry utilizes project managers and can utilize it. Sometimes you have to educate the employers that that's what they're looking for, is somebody that has the organizational skills, has the ability to put things together and sort of herd all those cats through what needs to be done to get a project all done. I'm going to turn it over to Sandra and let her kind of go into details about PMI Portland.
Thanks, Kelly. I am the Vice President of Membership at PMI Portland. And so I'm passionate about this. And the Portland chapter back in 2018 turned 30 years old. And since its beginning, the project manager itself became a recognized position and began using systemized processes and procedures and tools, and became had a project management professional certification come to light, which was a game changer for those in the field. And teams really became distributed and virtual, and we're seeing that now more than ever, and had to learn to use collaboration tools and techniques, and the projects themselves became more about people than products. And so project managers themselves had to hone skills to think around soft skills instead of just those hard schedule management, and had to think more broadly about benefits realization, and had to educate, like Kelly said, their employers about the value of what we do and what we bring to organizations. And then the methodology has changed so much, from where we were strictly waterfall to then moving into an agile revolution, and then into a more hybrid way of doing projects for organizations. And so PMI Portland has really grown in its way to bring programs that match those abilities and skills, and programs that help the project manager bring their career along as well, all over those years. And our programs in the annual conference speaks to that changing world, and helps the project manager stay current, and hone all of that career development and skill building along the way. So right now we have 2,300 members, and over 1,600 of those have some sort of a certification, such as the PMP or an Agile certification, or even a what we call a CAPM, a certificate of associate project manager, which is really for a beginner to just say, I know the framework, and get their feet wet in that. We offer programs every month that provide professional development units, PDUs, for those who need that to keep their certification current, and learning opportunities for everyone, depending on or regardless of what stage you are in your career. Chapter meetings are usually held in person, before COVID. But they offer networking time along with a keynote speaker, and before the dinner have an educational topic with a Q&A to really get with that speaker about things that are meaningful around that topic. Then we have workshops that offer deeper dives into skill building topics. They're usually a day long or 2 days long. We have roundtables that are held monthly. They're more informal, held around the metro area, and they provide discussions that are based sometimes on the industry of the folks who gather. Sometimes they're just around current topics of those who attend the event. And we offer certification preparation courses. Those exams are rather tough, and so we help people prepare to sit those exams successfully. Membership provides discounts for all of those programs, so it really behooves you to become a member. Volunteering, that is the way to get involved. Jump in. I should have moved along here. Volunteering is how we power the chapter. And you don't need to be a member to volunteer. So unless you want to take on one of those leadership positions at the assistant director above, you don't need to be a member. So getting involved as a volunteer is win-win. Volunteers gain new skills and build their local networks, as Kelly was saying. And you also might find a great mentor by volunteering. So while we have a formal mentorship program, which has been on hiatus since the COVID-19 situation happened, it will resume later in the fall. But informally, you get exposure to chapter leadership and when you volunteer, and exposure to lots of other seasoned PMs out there, and you might strike up a great mentor-mentee relationship while you're working as a volunteer. For every hour you volunteer, you're going to earn 1 PDU if you need that for your certification. And if you're working toward a credential, you could use your project experience that you get while working on something for the chapter as part of your application to sit the exam. It's also, like Kelly said, a great resume builder. Whether you're actually in a job, it looks great on a resume that you're volunteering, and for a job seeker as well. It's a great resume builder. So membership itself is a 2-part process. You join PMI Global first, and then for an extra $25, you become a member of your local chapter. And we also do have a 1-year first-time member guest pass, which is free. And so I have details on that if that's of interest. So anyone with an interest to volunteer, a skill they want to share, we have a position open for you. We'll find a place in any of our portfolios, which we call our teams, and they can be in touch with me at my email address, and I'm happy to get them hooked up.
Thank you so much. Such great information. I love that if you volunteer, you get an hour towards your PDU. Since some people have more time right now, what would you recommend? Would you recommend that they join the chapter or they volunteer? And then how important is that certification? Do you find that most employers are making it a requirement? And tell me a little bit about that certification process.
I find that at the senior level, if you want to increase your, to get to the next level of a project manager, the PMP is really sought after. And for those who are transitioning a role into project management from another role, or want to really define themselves, as Kelly said, many of us have started out in project management accidentally. It really claims, it really puts out there that I know the framework of sanction of, the PMI Global framework. And so that CAPM, that CAPM, really signals to the industry that I know project management, and I have gone through the rigor of taking that test and and know it. So I believe it's a game changer.
I would agree, Elaine. What I've found in my job search is I don't have my PMP, and in fact, I've been using this time that we have in isolation to study because I know how rigorous the test is. My plan is to have it done by the end of this month or early August, just depending on test times. I'm finding that even with all the years of experience, I'm able to translate in project management that they're asking, where's the PMP? So I would very much encourage folks that if you're looking at project management, and as Sandra said, if you're looking to get up into those higher level positions, the PMP is going to be pretty critical. As much as I've tried to get around that.
And the PMP certification, that's a different governing body. You get a book, you take a test. You have to have credits associated as well. There's a whole.
It's all Project Management Institute, PMI Global, is the credentialing body.
I see.
It is, and it's global, which is also, you know, as our industry, as we are a global economy. If you are someone doing project management in India or in the United States, you're using the same framework. And so the test is the same. It's a 4-hour exam, and it's no joke. And so yes, you study a lot. It is the application is the first piece of getting to the place where you can take the exam. So you have to have a 4,800 hours of experience and be able to document that, along with 36 hours of continuing education credits in project management to actually pass the application to sit the exam. So it's quite a process.
It's a project in and of itself.
It is.
I'm going to put a plug in again for one of our PMI sponsors, which is Portland State CEPI program. If you are somebody that doesn't or is just now recognizing, like I had, that you're a project manager, this program, it's 4 courses over, I think it took me 6 months, Saturday courses, and I really was able to get grounded, and was a great way to just give me the solid framework and know where to jump from there. I think it'll make it a lot easier to pass the exam because I have that structure than it would be if I just picked up the tech book and went for it, tried to memorize it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any upcoming events we should be aware of? Anything else that you want to share as far as future state? Would love to hear anything else you'd like to add.
We have 2 things. You can find them one of them on the website. The other one will be up pretty soon. Is we've got a disciplined agile intro course. So that's a new way of doing agile, as Sandra talked about. There's all, different kinds of methodologies they're coming and dovetailing together. That's on April 15th. You can register on the website. I believe it's $5. The other thing we've got coming up is July 28th. We're going to have sort of a virtual chapter meeting / networking event. It's the same as our normal chapter meetings because we're virtual. We had one on June 23rd, and there's actually a video going to be linked up on our website soon for that. People want to get a flavor for what that was. That'll be, I believe it's 5 to 7 on July 28th. Those are the 2. We also have a PMP CAPM prep class coming up at the end of July. So all of those can be found on the website that is showing on the screen there, pmi-portland.org. I think that's a great start. You can do a little exploring. We're in the midst of converting our website, so we ask people to have patience and let Sandra and I know if you find anything on there that you want some more information about.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for all those that joined 10 Minutes with 52. Some really exciting stuff. Hope to see both of you soon, and best wishes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.